Hello, I'm Robert Van Rissingham with Western Environmental Services and Naturally Noble. Today I want to introduce you to the Dr. James Duke database. This database you can find on a .gov site. Dr. James Duke worked for over 40 years with the USDA. His work revolved around plants' capability of manufacturing different compounds, plants' ability to uptake different minerals, how these minerals interact in chemical activities associated with the compounds that plants make, and also the minerals. This first page in the search engine, feel free to type in anything on that regarding chemical activities. If you put in chromium, you can put in a plant, you could put in anti-tumor, anti-diabetic, just anything on that data on that line, you'll find how extensive this database really is. It has a drop-down menu that you'll see here. We're going to start out just by entering in the word lettuce. You'll see that when we enter the word lettuce in, it'll come up with a number of different categories for search. If you were to do a chemical, it would have given you a chemical compounds. But lettuce itself, we're going to just click on lettuce. Now we're getting into the meat of this database. You can see here that on the top of the page it has the Latin word for lettuce, how it's used, the data views on it, the different activities are 623, the chemical activities, which is 79, and all chemicals on it. There's 113 different compounds that you will find in lettuce. I use this database mainly for my research in mineral additives to soil. You'll find in this database, though, that there are many beneficial compounds that the plants naturally make. But remember, the minerals come from the soil. The plant cannot manufacture minerals. So clicking on the chemical activities of chromium, first of all, but it'll bring up this next page, which will give you all of the different plants in the database with the levels of chromium in it. The parts per million is based upon an ash weight. You could click on the high parts per million and it would give you in order the plants with the highest loading capacity of chromium. As we clicked on the chromium and chemical activities, the very first page of that, it didn't actually give the chemical activities. It gave you all of the other plants that are listed within the database in their loading capacity of chromium. And you can see that's why this has so many different pages on that. You can click on any one of the plants. So if you were looking for something to add to your garden to utilize chromium and deliver it, you'd find it here. You can see here chromium is an amazing mineral. It has all of these different properties and chemical activities. When we look at this list, the list even goes so far as to give a recommended amount of chromium needed to prevent or to inhibit these conditions that we typically find associated with deficiencies within this mineral. Dr. James Duke's database, when we talked to him, once again, he didn't have the ability to put these minerals into the soil, or they didn't test different soils for the minerals. They only tested the plants in the levels of minerals. Now we can deliver these minerals with consistency, something that they didn't have at the time he put this database. By clicking on anti-diabetic, what we see here is 3 additional pages of different compounds that plants make that also help give you the fortification for anti-diabetes. It's an amazing database. Once again, it gives you sometimes the doses, but even more importantly, the references for all of these sources that Dr. Duke had come up with, which are excellent references. And you go back to the sources, it's amazing how much work went into this database. Plants are amazing. The particle size that a plant is capable of taking up is so small, but it's the building blocks for DNA. On this chart here, you can see the window of plant bioavailable mineral uptake size for plants. And you see, the relationship to DNA, the double helix. When a plant takes it up, it's capable of delivering to the consumer of that plant the minerals and the nutrients in a small enough particle size to actually be utilized as the building blocks for our own DNA, amino acids. Just the width of that DNA, and you can see here how many minerals make up that DNA within that small width. Soil depletion makes for deficiencies in our plants of minerals. When we look at soil deficiencies and we see what plants are capable of absorbing and what they're actually delivering is only 10% of the 10% of the plant's capability on average for these minerals. It's why we're only using probably 10% of our brain capacity. Mineral deficiencies show up as symptoms. This chart here is all off the Dr. James Duke database. The symptoms that are associated with these deficiencies and how we address them. You'll find this at westernenvironmentalservices.com. Check that out. Check us out on naturallynoble.com. Both Facebook, Soil Solutions, and Naturally Noble. Give us a like. Hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great day and enjoy Dr. Duke's database. What an amazing amount of work he put into this.